Hey everyone, I just want to share this cold email template with you that I know will work. I got a meeting booked with an ideal client from one send of this email. If you're a marketing contractor looking to build a career as someone who's independently employed and wants to work with a handful of brands at one time, or you're a small agency looking to find new clients but not sure quite how to start, I want to put together a series of videos that will give you a basically an entire process for how to do so. But I want to start first with going over the anatomy of this cold email that has personally worked very, very well for me. So um, it's about almost a full page long, but the length of the page isn't so important. I start emails that are cold with, "We haven't met, but I'm hoping we might be able to connect." Right away, establishing that I don't know you, and that's fine, but I would like to connect with you. It just puts a frame of reference out there that, yes, we haven't met. There's no expectation that you know me currently, but I quickly get into how I found them and how I absolutely love this concept, which is true in the case of the client that I sent this email to. I find that if you're looking to expand your agency or your contractor marketing services, focusing on brands that you already like or use is going to be one of the best strategies for you. If you can portray yourself or demonstrate to a prospect that you're their ideal customer already, you're going to be able to provide insights into what that customer is thinking that someone who doesn't use the product or isn't as familiar with the category simply isn't going to be able to understand. So, in this case, this is a product in a category that is very a hobby of mine that I do a lot in the summer. I'm not going to get into the details of it just right yet, but I found your product name, and this is where you would customize that on Instagram, and I absolutely love the concept. Later on, we'll get into how you can literally find your next client by scrolling Instagram on your couch. I'll explain exactly what you need to do to find people who are advertising on Instagram. You can find several dozen potential clients really in a 30-minute show just by laying on your couch if you're doing a certain activity over and over again. But um, sticking on the script here, or sticking to what the purpose of this video is, I found your product name. In this case, it's called I found your bowling shoes on Instagram, and I absolutely love the concept. I specialize in helping direct to consumer brands on Shopify grow sales with paid social media ads. So in this case, I visited this prospect's website. I've used a Chrome plugin to confirm that they use Shopify, and I've led with a very simple specialty of one of the services that I offer. So I would highly recommend, and I'm actually going to highlight that here, that you focus on brands and examine a prospect's website to understand what's in their tech stack before you reach out to them. Even better, if you've had great experience using a certain piece of technology, don't shy away from that. Actually look for opportunities to work with brands who already use that technology. It becomes increasingly easy to get results for people when you're using marketing and sales tools that you already understand how to use. I know that seems a little, I know if you haven't done this before, that may sound silly, but it makes all the difference in the world. Yes, marketing automation is marketing automation, but you might be surprised at the differences between, say, a HubSpot, which is a tool that I personally specialize in, and Pardot, which is a Salesforce tool, their version of marketing automation. I much prefer HubSpot. Maybe you do too. Point being, specialize in one tool and build off of that. In the last 2 years, I've more than 4x revenue for, and here's where you're going to reference an existing client name and then their existing client website using a combination of ads and conversion rate optimization on their Shopify store. Again, keeping it very simple. We run ads and then we do conversion rate optimization on the store. Now, getting that case study, that success case study, is harder than it is usually. But once you do have that success, this is about taking that success, leveraging that success, and growing it into more business. Um, so I've demonstrated that I like their product. I've demonstrated that I understand a piece of their tech stack, and I've demonstrated so far in these first 3 paragraphs of this letter, this cover letter, that I have had success in a very similar field. Now I'm leading off, now I'm adding value or offering free value as I head into the second part of this letter. So, one immediate area of opportunity I noticed on your website is you don't have an email opt-in pop-up active yet. Email pop-ups are one of the most effective way to grow leads who then convert into sales in the future. If you start to discover new clients who are advertising on Instagram, you'll invariably find, especially in direct-to-consumer, that the vast majority of them use a website pop-up to capture your email in exchange for a 10 or 15% off coupon. This is a fine tactic. It works really well in apparel. It works really well in other categories. But if you find a website that is an ideal fit for you, for your skill set, that's not using it, it can be a very low piece of low-hanging fruit value add recommendation that you put into something like this. Again, you have to have visited their website to know this for sure. And you might want to spend a little bit of time on the website to make sure that you didn't just miss the pop-up. So I was pretty confident after having visited this website that they weren't using a pop-up, and that happened to be true as I got more into it. So now here's where the real point of differentiation between you and other competitors is. And if you're not an SEO, if you don't offer SEO services, you might want to partner with someone who can help you with this research. But I use a tool called Ahrefs, which we'll make some additional videos on. But I use this tool to get a sense for how far along a particular product is in the company history. It can't tell me everything, but it can tell me quite a lot, from the backlink profile to the number of live website pages to how well the website ranks for a particular category. So, but I'm going to drop this in here because while for me it's very easy to extract SEO research from a tool like Ahrefs, to someone who is a small D2C brand and doesn't have a marketing background, which is the vast majority, I would say, at least in my experience, of brands that are starting out, this research is going to seem like gold. And it is gold, quite frankly, because it can really dictate a lot about the order in which you pursue different marketing tactics to help them grow. Additionally, I did some SEO research and found that despite there being 900 people per month who are searching for golf swing speed trainer, this is just a term here, you currently rank 18th towards the bottom of page 2. Now, of course, everyone wants to rank at the top of page 1. So, and a lot of times you'll find even higher search volume and even lower ranking for a keyword term that would be extremely specific to what the prospect's business line is. So let's say it could be 9,000 people a month who are searching for torque wrenches for cars. You currently rank 75th. That's actually really good for you because you're identifying an even bigger opportunity in an even bigger market, because there's roughly 10x the search volume, and it's a lot easier to go from 72nd to 18th than it is from 18th to first, but that's neither here nor there. So I have some very top level SEO research, and I will put this in a separate video, but the brands who rank in the top 10 for this term are getting up to 7,200 site visitors per month. And this is a data figure that I pulled directly out of Ahrefs by examining who's currently ranking for this specific keyword term. You're currently getting about 3. So the good news, it's actually really easy to rank for this term. Can I show you how? The difficulty of whether or not it's easy or hard to rank for a term is another data point. In Ahrefs, I omitted that data point because it's fairly subjective with respect to what the data point means. It means something to someone who's done a lot of keyword research, but on the surface, it's hard to understand what a particular keyword difficulty means. But in this case, Ahrefs has it ranking as relatively low competition, meaning it wouldn't be that hard if you pursue a fairly basic SEO strategy to eventually rank higher for that term. So now I'm coming to the close where I'm looking to get that meeting. Is growing sales this, and I put time period. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. Should be the main yellow, but you get the point. Is growing sales this, let's say, this bowling season a priority for you? If so, I'd love to see how I can help. Best, Bill. P.S. I'm an average bowler with 170 mile per hour ball speed, but I'd love to crack 200 before I'm done. First, the time period. One of the keys with sales is there are seasons to every business sales cycle, meaning every business has a certain period of seasonality where they're going to be selling more and they're going to be selling less, and every business is looking to prepare to maximize what they can sell in those high periods. So let's say your sport or your prospects season is, let's say, the spring, summer. It's a warm weather activity. Now, you're probably going to want to be reaching out to them in the winter time, or getting ahead. You want to be reaching out to them at a period of time where you're going to have time to make improvements to their website before their traffic picks up. So if we're talking about golf, that's usually a sport where sales pick up around the end of March, certainly in April and on through the summer. And they start to peter off at the end of summer when people have made their purchase for that season and are in the season or enjoying the season, but then, are going to be out of season fairly soon. So by reaching out in a time period before that, let's just say April, let's give yourself 12 weeks before that, you're going to be able to bound what you're proposing with a sense of urgency to get it done leading into that busy period. A sense of urgency is going to be important for you to close deals, because if there's not compelling need for change, there's no reason to hire you in the first place. But with a time-bound sense that we need to get this done in this certain amount of time, that's going to aid you in getting the deal closed. And this last bit is a personal anecdote going back to what I had mentioned previously, in that if you are an avid bowler and that's really something that's passionate for you, and you are absolutely in that perfect customer demographic, then those insights into what their product is doing well and what their product could be doing better are going to be a lot more relevant than someone who, frankly, doesn't understand the market at all. So I personally would never pursue a business relationship with, let's say, a car part company. That's just not something I have a strong interest in, let alone I really know nothing about cars. And, there's just so many hurdles for me to understand that market before I could add any value. It just doesn't make any sense. So I throw this in here to reassert the point that, I really understand this particular market, and that, I could add insight that another person who maybe doesn't understand the market wouldn't be able to. So I hope this is helpful. I hope you can see how this letter goes from, acknowledging that we haven't met to warming them up with some demonstration of basic understanding of their business and what they're using, demonstrating some competence in the field, and then using keyword data to demonstrate that this is far more than a mass deployed introductory letter or introductory cold email. This is a cold email that has some thought put into it, has some very basic numbers associated with it, and is actually differentiated. So, and what's nice about a tool like Ahrefs is once you get the hang of it, it's actually extremely easy to find this information. And what's great about this type of approach is you don't need a list of 1,500 domains to look up in a tool. You can literally just stick to pursuing relationships with businesses that you already like, that you're probably already a customer of, or would become a customer of, and that's only going to help you on down the line. I hope this video was helpful. Click subscribe for more videos on business development and sales for small agencies and contractors in the future. Thanks.